Okay. Welcome, you guys. Hello, Sophia and Ellie. And for those people who are watching on the recording, I'm just going to head through and give you a bit of an overview of P2P Agri and also the exciting news that we can pull your Xero data in, which means we can do things a lot easier with cash flow, monthly cash flow management and plan to actual. I'm also just going to share my screen now because I can see you there. Sophia, can you just put your thumbs up that you can see? Okay. Right. Thanks, Ellie, for that. And what basically the features of P2P Agri, I'll just go through some of the things that you use with it and some of the reasons why we might use the software. So some of the features are the menu bar is on the left. You can see me clicking on the headings of essentials and season and future. That's the menu bar. It shows us how to drive the software, and we start from essentials and work our way down to scenario. I'll come back to that. There's also a timeline here. So if we've got historic data and we want to go back and scrutinize past data, we can click into that particular year and then go through the different reports which will be pertinent to that year. Or we can click back into season and do our planning for the season, or we can plan out to 5 years ahead of us. So if you've got years that have got black in them, means there's data in them. And there's also a lot of onboard help going. So if you find yourself, you're in the program and you think, oh, what it might want me to do here, you can click the little help button, the bottom right, and along slides hopefully some text and little videos that will help you answer some of the questions where you find yourself. So at the moment, it might be how to add a farm in this part of the program and how to draw paddocks. And you'll see there's little videos there which you can play there, or you can expand out to be a full screen. Or if you've got another separate screen on your computer, you could click the little link below and you can play that in a different tab, and you could drag that to another screen while you're looking at the program. So hopefully there's a lot of help on board. But I just want to highlight that really the 4 sections of the program that really help us understand our business and where we're going in the future. So as Sophia and Ellie already know, Essentials has been set up to help us understand the management information out of our tax returns. Now, there was an independent survey that said 75% of farmers in Australia don't know how to understand their tax returns from a management perspective. And so this is why Essentials has been created, so that once we've got our data in here, we can actually look at past trends of our business, of what the profitability's been like, what our gross income and expenditure's been like, what the value of our assets and our liabilities have been, and if our net worth has been growing, and some of the key performance indicators, which will tell us the past performance of our business. So this is a really great starting point to understand where we've come from. And as it turns out, bankers use your tax returns as your financial Bibles of your business. So the better farmers understand how their bankers look at their business, the better we can communicate with bankers and hopefully negotiate better lending interest rates with them. So Essentials answers the question of how our businesses has been performed in the past. But really what we need to get a handle on for our risk management is to understand where our business is today and where we might be heading for this year. So this is what Essentials is about. We can set it up to set up our farming year, and there's a lot of detail goes in here, but some of the reports come back. Once we've got the detail in here, we can project forward our profits that we might be making this year. We project forward the assets that we're managing, the liabilities we're managing, as well as monthly cash flow projections. I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute. Then we can look at our gross margins. So what part of our business is making us the most money? Is it canola or wheat? Is it cattle? Is it cotton? Is it sheep? And some of the key performance indicators given to us in dials, so we can see how the different components of our business has been managed and how efficiently it's being managed and where there might be areas we can find improvement. as we go forward. Then finally, we have future, which allows us to project forward the next 5 years. And I encourage users to model both good seasons and bad seasons here so we can see our risk profile. And once we've got our 5-year plan going, then we can use a really powerful scenario analysis where it allows us to look at any changes in our plans, whether we'd like to take up the opportunity to buy a neighbour out or lease some more country, or what would happen if we took the cattle out and replaced them with sheep, or changed our cropping program around, how that would vary. So we get a really good indication. So just to give you an example here, if I turn that off, we can see the forward 5-year projection of cash for this particular farm. And I've modelled 2 years of drought and a good season and an average season. So we can see the risk profile is quite good. They're not losing as much money as they're gaining in a good season. We can scroll down, we can have a look at the series of cumulative cash flow and tech and return on the profits we're making and the equity and balance sheet. And then the scenario analysis can look at things like land purchase. So here's an example where the light grey line is the land purchase. So yes, it does affect our cash because we're paying probably more off on our loans. The cumulative cash shows that it's going to improve our activity. Profitability, it'll vary a little bit, but not a lot, and it'll change our equity. So that's the sort of powerful things that the program can do. But today's activity is to really show you where we connect with Xero. So if you've been using Xero for a number of years and you're looking to put data together for essentials, we click into the dashboard. Make sure you tell the program what year you'd like to bring data in from, and then click on the Import with Xero button. And then we're going to connect to Xero. So it's off going. I'm actually a Xero user myself. I have a number of different clients, and I'm just going to pick one of the data. I'm going to pull that data in. So it's off now, going to that client's data, thinking about it, and we've pulled in the 2018 Xero data that's pertinent to the tax return for this particular business. Now, if you're an accountant, you can actually sit back and say, yes, I'm happy with these numbers that are coming in, or no, I don't want that particular number in. We can ignore this item. You can actually edit these numbers now. They're bringing in income and expenses information for that year, and they're bringing in asset items for that year, and also liability items for that year. So if you're new to P2P Agri and haven't been trained in understanding your tax returns, we can put you through a training activity and give you support with that. A lot of farmers are doing the same sort of thing through a course we're running with Tocal. So we need to understand that some of the asset values might not be right, but once it's a two-part activity where we bring data in from Xero. Once you're happy with that, we hit save, and the data then is populated automatically into P2P Agri. We can actually still edit it here. So if I show you, if we said, no, that was actually 11,000, we can edit the number there. We can actually take that entry out by hitting the red X. So the idea is, once we've edited the data to give us true, correct management information, like proper asset values and those sort of things, we have a series of reports available to us. We can look at the profit and loss for that year. We can look at the balance sheet for that year, as well as looking at the dashboard. So how did we go that year regarding some of the key performance indicators? And once we've done it, do a number of years, we have those comparison charts. But really, I think where you'll find P2P Agri most useful is in the cash flow and pulling your Xero data in from here. So if I click into cash flow, we have the ability to do planned cash flow, do an actual cash flow as the year unfolds, and then do a rolling cash flow. So as the year might change 6 months down the track and we find ourselves in a drought, or we find ourselves in a good year, we can come back and review our program for the rest of the year and submit that to the bank if they needed to have an update. So if we've done our planned in P2P Agri, and I'll just hit the chart, and that shows you the light blue line is our planned monthly cash flow for this business. If I click into actual and say, righto, I want to bring in March's numbers. Now, this could be March from last year. I'm not sure how. I'll click import from Xero, and it's connected. I'll try to see if we can bring March's numbers in. So in this example, we've got expenses of wages and superannuation and phone. The first process really to do in P2P Agri is try to marry up your income and expense items that we have in P2P Agri. So if I come down in those wages and salaries, they might be equivalent to Darren's activity. So we're starting to match the expense items coming through from Xero with our expense items in P2P Agri. So there's telephone and internet. So we come down here, go to the fixed cost part of it, and we should find telephone here. There we go, there's telephone. So we're clicking in, and P2P Agri starts to remember how you're lining these income and expenditures up. So when we do the same thing next month, it will remember what you've clicked in, and there might be some added items that are in from Xero. And then in P2P Agri, you may have told us what your loan repayments are. So if you're happy with the loan repayments that have come in, then we hit save, and this data then comes into P2P Agri. The internet's a little bit slower. So we can actually go to the chart, and we can see the first number happens to be very similar to the number we've planned. So the actual is starting in March. If we go to April, there's no data there yet. So that's how we bring the data in from Xero. Once you've done that, you can hit comparisons, and we could actually go here and select March to March. And so in the plan, we planned $250,000 of barley coming in, but the actuals, we didn't achieve that. So we've dropped $250,000 income from our plan. We can scroll down and we can compare what's happened to our cost items and what variations there might have been. And if you wanted a physical printout of that, you can go to print reports, and you could go to comparison, and that would print that table out. So you could then share that with your banker or with your accountant and those activities. So really the process with Xero from a cash flow perspective is to do your planning, and then each month, once you've done your reconciliation in Xero, you can click the actual and bring your Xero data in. So that's the sort of area that I wanted to cover. And sorry, there's Lou there, and there's got a few other people joined us there from the beginning. I might just pause there to see whether you guys have any questions. Wait, it looks like my internet's not too strong at the moment. Ellie, do you have any questions of what I've just shared?
Yeah, so just recapping, so you basically just do each page, so each month, you'll have to press the import button to bring in, the March expenses, and then do it again for April, May, and then, yeah, obviously you're just doing it on the actual page.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, my internet's locked up a little bit.
No, that's right.
I'll just see. I'm just going to demonstrate that to you, but it looks like that's all locked up. Here we go. I'll just see if I can log in again and solve our problem. This doesn't happen to you guys with internet issues, does it, out in the country?
No, never. We don't have any internet to lose most of the time.
No, okay. Looks like my internet's going really slow at the moment. So to answer your question, Ellie, the answer is yes. You click into actual, and then you connect to your Xero login, and you select which month you want to put in. So for example, say if we were in June and we haven't done any actuals for the year, we could go back and do March's, we could do April's, we could do May's, and then catch up to June if you wanted to. But the idea, really good cash flow management is that you do your plan for the year. Then as each month unfolds, you do your reconciliations in Xero, so you know you're up to date for BAS and GST. And then you can pull that data in and just check to see how you're going with your cash flow. Are you ahead or behind? Which allows you to do much more tactical things within the season. So, you know, if you're ahead and you've decided, yep, I could perhaps use some of that extra cash to fix up that back fence or replace that boundary fence out the back, then we can do that knowing that we're going all right. So that's the sort of activity to do in that. Thanks, Ellie. Sophia, do you have any queries or questions?
No, that's okay at the minute. Thanks.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't catch your name. Do you have any other questions? No? That's the hearing going. Okay, so that's really the demonstration that our connections with Xero are both in the essentials part of the program and in the season part of the program. And in the season, probably the most effective is the cash flow management, where we can bring in actual, but looks like my internet is not going well at the moment and closed us down. So I might end the recording there. And if anyone who's watching would like to find out more about the program, please contact me. Go to our website, and our website is p2pagri.com.au. And in there, you can hit contact us, which allows you to send an email to us. There's a phone number there, which we can respond. But also you'll see there's a lot of other resources on our website, including a reference to the book that I've written in Farm Business Management, which has been really popular with Australian farmers. So you can get an access to that. It's a huge investment of about $10. So just click the link and it'll show you how to order that from GRDC. So if there's no other queries or questions, I might just end the recording there.